Release the Kraken! Sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyways, today we'll be reviewing the Kraken X60 closed loop water cooling system by NZXT. This is basically the package. As you can see, so here are some basic specs. This particular unit runs about $149 MSRP. Places like Newegg, Amazon. You can find it cheaper once in a while, but they're usually hanging around that price. This is the competitor to the Corsair H100i and the Corsair H110, which is the new Corsair water cooling system with the larger 140 millimeter fans. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside the box. I've opened the case up. I actually haven't looked inside. Please forgive me if the video is a little bit odd because I'm holding the camera with one hand and opening up the case with the other. So here we go. This is a nice box package from the looks of it. Alright, let's see what we get here. This is the radiator over here, the cooling, the piping. Go and take this off, take this off, and the two fans. As you may know, I'm running an NZXT Phantom case myself. It's a pretty decent case. I like it. Their fans are pretty good, apparently, from a lot of reviews. Not the best, but definitely in the upper echelon of the fans. They seem to have good airflow. So this is the NZXT fan, 140 millimeter. We get the Kraken NZXT software. This is the software. I assume that's going to be doing the fan control and monitoring. Lots of wires braided nicely, except this one, not so nicely. And it comes with the thermal paste pre-applied, which I will definitely take that off and put a nice little amount of AC5 on that, so we'll leave that alone. You get a bunch of these connectors, and you also get a nice connector right here, so you don't have to use the Molex, the fat Molex. So this is a nice addition. Anyways, there's some basic package instructions. This obviously can support a lot of chipsets like the AMD, the LGA, a lot of common CPUs. It's nice. This is basically very similar to the Corsair and also the Phanteks cooler 620, 920. They're all manufactured by Osatec, I believe, and there's also some that are manufactured by Coolit. I believe those are the Corsair units, but they're basically very similar all in all. They all come with the same type of brackets. I have a Phanteks cooler 620 that I've used previously on the Sandy Bridge i5. It was alright. It wasn't very effective. It was definitely a nice cooler for running up to maybe 4 gigahertz. You definitely don't want to run one of those smaller coolers like the Phanteks 620. Definitely need something this big, like this beast right here. And these are the brackets that come with it. They're plastic, not great, not good. Hopefully they don't break. If you over tighten it, they definitely will. And you get quite a few brackets in here. They're very easy to assemble. I know I've done it a few times on the 620 myself, which uses the single radiator, but they're not really hard. You just have to pay attention to the instructions, figure out which of these go on the AMD and the Intel processors, and you just basically put this behind the motherboard, put the screws in the back, and then from the top of the motherboard you screw holders and you tighten it. It's very simple. I mean, not that complex if you follow the instructions. Some people have said that, you know, oh my god, they're so terrible and hard to put in. I mean, you just have to have patience, really, honestly. Just put some patience in it, and you know, follow the directions. Go online and look up some of the instructions. I'm not going to go through all that right now. I'm just basically running some of the overview, and I'm going to run some tests. Right now I'm running in the background as we speak the Phanteks PH-TC14 or whatever that is. I cannot remember the name of the cooler, but the Phanteks, here it is, the Phanteks PH-TC14 PE. What a name. Anyways, this cooler is badass. This cooler is definitely one of the best air coolers you can get. It's expensive and usually runs between $89 to $100, and it's a serious air cooler. It's actually even faster than some of the water coolers like the H60, the Phanteks 620, the H70 in some certain cases. This is definitely the top of the crop, you know, Noctua, whatever, and it's definitely a bad-ass air cooler. So I have it in my case right now, running some Prime 95 tests to see how it's doing. Let's see how it's doing. So as you can see, this is a hot processor. It's running at 78, 84, 81, 79. The average, as you can see here, it's 79, 85, 83, 80, which is not bad considering it's running at 4.5 gigahertz and 1.3 volts. So far it's been doing pretty good. I'm running the small FFT, which generates a lot of heat. Most of the heat, as you can see right now, it's telling me it's passed a lot of the tests, which is really good. So once this is done, and it's been running now for about 30 minutes. It's running about 30 minutes, and it looks like this is the temperature right now in the room. I would say it's 65. It was early, it was around 63, 64 Fahrenheit. It feels like it's 65 because it's been running, the computer's been on for a while. So that is going to be the temperature that the Kraken X60 will be configured. So as soon as I put this together, I will show you what the difference is between the Phanteks and the NZXT X60. And here is the Phanteks running right now. As you can see, it's quite a large cooler. The GTX 680 Lightning running on an i7-3770K and a P8Z77V Deluxe motherboard. 8 GB of RAM, G-Skill Aries running at 1600 MHz. Alright, so this is the finally installed product. It took me about 35-45 minutes to install it. It wasn't really as difficult, but the back plate that attaches to the back of the motherboard, which I've showed you earlier, stripped. So be very careful when you install it. These screws here, when you tighten them too fast, and I wasn't even using a screwdriver, I was basically using my hands, stripped the back of it. It's plastic, so I just had to grab another screwdriver, put it in there, and then kind of tighten it up a little bit. But anyways, so once you hook this up, you hook these PWM fan cables. Also, don't forget to plug in the USB header. That's the one on the left. blue one. You have to have that installed to be able to control the software and the fan, some of the fan settings. And also the CPU fan, which is located, let's see if I can get in there, right next to the heatsink on the left, the blue heatsink, and between the RAM, right under. It's really a tight fit, and the cables are really strong. It's about an inch, and it seems to be made out of very thick material, so you really can't bend it. So, but the radiator obviously came all the way, literally all the way to the back of my RAM, and this is the G-Skill Aries, very low profile RAM. If I had anything higher, like the G-Skill Sniper or Corsair Dominator or whatever, it would not fit in. It just simply wouldn't fit in because it comes so close to the case right there. But anyways, there's lots of cables here. I'm gonna kind of tuck these away once I get a chance to. Basically just wanted to show you guys what it looks like installed. Yeah, lots of cables. So and you can also attach two more cables, two more fans to the plugs, which are hidden behind the case. There's two more plugs that are left open for you to install two extra fans here for a push-pull configuration. But right now I'm just running these stock NZXT fans and the two 200mm case fans. The radiator is really close to it, maybe 1mm space in between these fans and the radiator, so it's a pretty good position here for it to extract a lot of air outside. So that's about it. Hey, this is some of the showcasing of the NZXT Kraken X60 software. The software is basically used to just basically control the fan speed and fan speed profiles. You can also monitor temperatures. As you can see right now, it's showing 1 through 8, 8 being the hyper-threading enabled, showing 8 cores. Otherwise, if you had a 4 quad core, it would show only 4 or 6 or whatever your processor may be. If you had an i5, it would only show 4. It's basically very similar to the real temp. As you can see, the values are pretty much on the spot. It's been since I had it on for about 6 minutes. The idle's been hovering around 24, 23, 27, 29. Usually it's about the same, about 25, 26, 27. This little program here is Open Hardware Monitor. This basically installed itself when you install the NZXT monitor dashboard, whatever they call it, the software. I was trying to figure out why there's two programs running in the background. This comes as a part of a package when you install it, and I was having a little trouble uninstalling it because I like to run as few programs as possible. But it's pretty neat if you like it. Just leave it on, and just shows basically some of the details and your core temperature, the speed, and all this other stuff. So it's a pretty little neat thing. I just don't want it, and then it's kind of hard to uninstall it when it's part of the NZXT package install program. So right now what I'm going to do is show you what these different profiles sound like under normal room. Just you know what it sounds like in this case I have a dedicated computer room. It's fairly silent in here. There's not a whole lot of background noise, so the only thing you should be hearing is the computer case and the fans. So right now what I have it set on is I turn off all the computer fans speeds to low, and what I'm going to do is show you basically starting off from the silent profile to custom to extreme. I'm going to try to remain silent, only indicating what profile it's running. So right now it's silent. Custom, and extreme. Back to silent. Quite a big difference between the extreme setting and the silent setting. The custom setting is basically a gradual increase in fan speed as the temperature rises. Very similar if you're familiar with the graphics card fan setting, custom fan settings. That's usually what I run, so I don't have to go exit out of a menu and minimize a game and set it on extreme. I basically just have it set up on custom, and you know the fan speed increases as the temperature rises. So it's a pretty cool program. It's a little behind, and as far as the interface, there's not a whole lot of things you can do except change some of the general settings and the light settings. That's about the only thing that's kind of cool. You can change the hues and change the coloring inside the cooler. The logo, the NZXT logo, you can change the colors of that to pretty much any color that you want. So right now I have it set on red, and you can set it to where it's fading, and there's a strobe. You can adjust how many times you want the strobe to come on, and high temperature indicator. So it's pretty neat, a little fancy, but it's definitely behind the Corsair's software as far as the interface and the because the NZXT this is the fairly new product that just came out, so it's to be expected that they don't have as many features as the Corsair brand. But that's about it as far as the sound comparison goes. Alright, just wanted to bring up just a quick thing here. I noticed that when I set the fan on extreme setting, there's a lot of pump noise, and I did make sure that the fans weren't rubbing against anything. And how do I know that it's the fans? Because when I touch the pump, it basically stops. But this is the noise that you hear, or you may not hear. I'm not sure if this is something that's common in these units. There's not a whole lot of reviews, but I do notice that this particular noise, it sounds like somebody's sucking through a straw, like a bubbly straw. So I'll let you listen to it, and then just kind of, if you get one of these, please post it. Let me know what you think if you have the same type of noise. But I definitely do hear it, and listen up. So yeah, that's the noise, and it doesn't. Oddly enough, it doesn't come on when you set it on the like custom or silent. Well, it does come on custom if it reaches like high temperature, and the fan and the pump has to go into heavy duty. So mainly if your processor gets hot and the fans are spinning high, and the pump is pumping a lot of cycling a lot of liquid, this noise is clearly audible. And it's quite annoying, to be honest. So might have to take this unit back and either swap it out and get another product. I'm not sure what I want to do. If this is like something that's supposed to be happening, then I'm not going to be quite happy with it. If it's just an issue with this unit, then yeah, I'll definitely exchange it and keep the unit, because it does a fairly good job of cooling my system. So pretty much approaching towards the 30 minutes mark. I've been running the small FFT Prime 95 test here. It's pretty much passed everything. It's running again at 1.3 volt, 4.5 gigahertz. And what is the difference between the Phanteks and this? Just about 10 Celsius across the board difference. A little bit between 10 and 11 and 12 Celsius difference. So the cooler does a very good job cooling off the i7 3770K. Keep in mind the 3770K does get extremely hot due to the pathetic thermal paste that's underneath the the lid on the processor. So if you want to go ahead and risk screwing up your processor and the warranty, I highly suggest what they call deleting taking off the lid off the processor, taking out the original thermal paste, and putting pretty much any kind of aftermarket Arctic Silver 5 is what I've been using, and it's a great paste. So I've seen the temperature drop, an additional temperature drop about 10 to 15 Celsius. So in reality, this would probably be in the mid 50s range right now if I actually replace the thermal paste on the processor itself. But I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to keep the processor stock as it is, and like I said, running at 4.5 gigahertz, 1.3 volts. The processor does a pretty good job of staying cool. Like I said, in the Phanteks, the difference, if I remember correctly, it was about 79, 85, 82, I believe. You can go back in the video and look at that particular point, but I believe it was exactly about 10, 11 Celsius difference. So a big gain in the Kraken X60, going from an excellent air cooler. The Phanteks is probably one of the best air coolers in the market right now you can get. By no means it's cheap, like I mentioned before. It's running around $100. But it gets the job done. On the Sandy Bridge, it's been excellent. On my i5 2500K, however, the 3770K, the air coolers just won't cut it due to the higher temperature. And this X60 does an excellent job, so I would highly recommend this. And like I said, I will keep you posted on the noise, the pump noise, and see if that's something that's supposed to be part of it, or something that's a defect in the pump. But as I've been talking through this video, the noise has actually gone away, as you can see. So, well, that's it for this edition of the Kraken NZXT X60 review. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, post it in the comment section. I hope you appreciate this very amateurish video review. Thanks for watching.